say here, Good morning. I'm sitting, we just had breakfast, and I'm sitting here on the balcony of the restaurant, which is part of the hotel, the Delta Hotel in Vlaardingen, and in the Netherlands, and watching the ships go by. And I'm trying to draw pictures of them, sketching pictures of the ships, one at a time as they come by, adding them to my. Then I'll add the chalk later. I think that might be a good way to do this. Anyway, it's very peaceful out here. It's about 10:30 in the morning here. We came out here about 9, and we had breakfast. I had a lovely breakfast. They had a great selection of variety of things. It was a cafeteria style, or not cafeteria, buffet. Bed and breakfast sort of thing, the breakfast included with the room. And here, I'll turn you around for a second so you can see this boat as it's going by, if I can figure out where the turnaround button is. Does that work? No. There it is. It's just nice to watch them go by. They're going out to sea. Downstream, away they go. Fair Play 21 is that one. I don't know what that flag is. That's a tug right there, right? And that's a barge? Is that a barge? Are you looking at me again? Yes, there we are. It's pretty bright here. I have to put on my visor. I think I understand now why they're not wearing masks. I think that the mask mandate has been on since Christmas, and it just came off a few days ago, and so it must have come off because the case count is low. Must be low enough that they don't need to worry about it anymore, which is why they are not wearing their masks. All the mandates have ended. And so whatever the counts were before, they're very low now. But it's on the increase, I think. Anyway, I don't know. I know it's on the increase in England, but maybe not necessarily in Holland. Anyway, so we just use our own, we get a spoon and use it for serving ourselves, or a fork, and try and social distance, and wear a mask if you can't social distance. How's that? Anyway, that was my final story. So I didn't go to bed till 2 o'clock this morning, local time. But it's so beautiful out here. It's so peaceful. Watching the sparkling on the water. I have on my sunglasses, which is very nice, because it just sparkles. It doesn't look like white out on the water. And I guess it's rather foggy this morning. And I'm finally realizing, I don't know if I'll remember it, but the icon for fog on the weather app that comes with my Apple phone is a cloud with lines, horizontal lines under it. That refers to fog. I thought that was ice, but it's not. It's fog. Because obviously there's no ice here now. It's quite mild out. In fact, it's a little bit too warm in the sun. It's a bit breezy, which is blowing the heat away, so you get some nice coolness in with the heat. It's really a nice time of year. Not too hot, not too cold, but you get a bit of each. I'm really grateful that I'm here. I'm really grateful. I didn't want to come. I tried every conceivable way not to come, but I'm really glad that I'm here because it's really beautiful, and the thing I think about traveling that makes it good is that it's interesting. It's something different. And I don't see the same things I saw all the time, you know, getting up in the morning and walking around the deck 30 times. That's lovely, but it's very different to look at ships and try and figure out what flag it is, what country it comes from, and the name of it, and write the name down and then look it up and find out more about it. There was one from Finland a minute ago. And I also like making little short videos. If I stay close to the hotel, I have Wi-Fi. Well, once I get farther afield, I don't. So, and I've got my airplane mode on. But you still see, it says Vodafone, V-O-D-A. Phone is the name of the provider that automatically links up. It's Vodafone.nl. But and when I see those bars and I think, oh no, it's online, but it's actually not. It's just that's what's available around me. I'm pretty sure. But you know, to go a whole day without using the internet at all, once you use it just for a moment, you pay $14 for the whole day. So if you're very careful all day and then at the end you blow it, you might as well have been on all day. Anyway, but I'm trying not to use up my data so that I can still be able to make videos for the rest of the month when I am out and need to make a video, and not that I need to. You know, it's interesting, as the ships go by, you can feel them. There's a deep rumble. Guess it's the engines. You know, it's also interesting is that helicopters fly right over the water and go along. And it reminds me of warplanes, you know, war helicopters. Very fortunate that we're at peace here. And oh, here comes something different with 2 smokestacks on it. Let's look at that for a moment. So, oh, that's something that's being pushed by a tug. And here comes something else. Ship Spares Logistics BV. BV, doesn't that refer to the British Virgin Islands? Maybe that's a Dutch crane. Darcy, 2. I don't know. Here comes the barge. Looks like it's empty. And it's being pushed by a tug as well. Doesn't even look like it has any of its own way to move it. Unless that's part of it. No, it's a tug. You can tell when it's empty because the water lines on the edges of the boat are way out of the water. I wonder what that one is about. Oh, and here comes something else. Hebo. That's alright. People are coming along. Can you see me again, or are you dead? Oh no, I see. There I am. It's very nice to sit out here in the sunshine. Yeah, I guess you are there. Anyway, so I'll just go back to sitting out here and enjoying the view. I wonder if any of you are there. Who knows? It's too dark in there. Oh, maybe if I take off my sunglasses and put this over my eyes. Oh, look, someone has said something. Good morning. Who is that, and what did you say? Ellen. Good morning, Ellen. What time is it there? I think it was 5:30 there a little while ago, so anyway, it's very nice out here today. It's very sunny. I have no idea what we need to do today. I guess we have to figure out where we're going to stay tomorrow. and have to go get an item or two in town. I don't know if we'll see Lily. She doesn't seem to find anything wrong with coming down and sitting on a bench by the river. We're on another bench. I hope we're far enough apart. I hope we don't catch COVID. And if we do, I hope it doesn't mean we have to social distance for 5 days and stay in our room. Anyway, the rules here are I'm not sure what all the rules are. But I think if you get it, you have to social distance for 5 days. This is a nice place to be. Nice to be on the river. I really like it on the river. I grew up with a river in my backyard. We had an acre and it was sort of pointed at the end, narrow at the front. It was 100 feet wide at the road, and it was much less down at the bottom. Maybe 50 feet or 40 feet. And the river was down at the bottom. It was a hill, this sloped hill. It was a really nice place to be. And I've always loved rivers. I like watching the ships and watching the animals. There's cormorants on the water and pigeons. And I drew a cormorant going over. I don't know really what a cormorant looks like. I have to study the bird book. You know, I took the bird book one day and I decided I would draw the ducks that were in the bird book so that I would be able to know the shape of the ducks, so that when I saw one I would be able to draw it. It's kind of hard to learn to draw the shapes of the birds when they're right there moving. Pigeons, I decided I would use circles. Draw a very small circle for the head and a big circle for the body, and then combine the two with a kind of a parenthesis shape line. Bit of a curve. Convex? No, concave. Convex, I always think it's the dented one, but it's not. It's the one that is the mountain or the hill. I'm a little concerned about getting sunburned out here. I'm not used to so much sunshine. You can't see the fire in the day. You can see just a tiny touch of orange right against the top of that smokestack. It's interesting because that smokestack is kind of the shape of a scaffolding. You can see through it. It's made up of a lot of lines and nothing in the middle. I wonder where...
Dag levensgenieters. Zal ik wat voor jullie inschenken? Ja, lekker. Cappuccino voor u? Ja. 2 keer. Mag ik voor u wat inschenken?
I've already eaten.
And do you want something to drink for now?
No.
Or just enjoying the sun?
Just enjoying the sun. Thank you.
Natuurlijk. Had u ook graag nog een kaart gewild? Nee, even een shootje en zonnetje.
I didn't understand what he said, but that's all right. I ate the buffet here, so I'm not just an interloper hanging out. It's very relaxing, you know. Nice place to be. I'm so blessed. Can't believe I get to be in Holland. Gee, I never imagined when I was growing up that I would ever get to go to Europe. It's just, it looks like it's not working when I'm looking through my sunglasses, but then I see it is working when I take them off. I can see this little white thing, so it must be working. This is my KN95 mask. This morning there was a huge cruise ship going by the window, and I fumbled with my camera trying to get it on and to make a short or a video or anything, and it takes so long to arrange it all. If it's not already ready, if you're just going to make a video in your own camera and then upload it later, that's easy. But if you try and make a live video or create a short, it takes, there's quite a few little screens you have to go through to get to that. It smells so nice out here. I was hoping to see that lady again who had the fleece laying on the grass yesterday. It's probably dry enough already, but maybe not. Maybe she would have to turn it over and dry it again today. And if she does, I would like to ask her. I looked up the word for felting. I wanted to know how she's going to make her comforter. Is she going to felt it, or is she going to put the fleece? I guess if you were to think about it, what a comforter looks like, it's puffy and fluffy. So she's probably just going to just lay it in there. You know, if you were to tie a quilt, you were to put down a sheet, and then put down your fleece, fluffy, and then another sheet, and then tie it every 6 inches or every 4 inches in all directions. You know, just by taking a needle and thread, a needle and yarn, and tying them with little ends sticking out, you know, like 1.5 inch end after it's tied. You have them all over it. I think that would make it stay nice and fluffy. And if you didn't tie it tight so that the sheets touched each other, but if you tied it with about 1 inch play in the middle, then it would keep it from moving, and it would also give you that warmth and all over it. Wouldn't have cold spots. But I'm really not sure. I've never done fleece before. I've used batting, where you just roll out the batting on your sheet, and then you put another sheet on top of it. And then you sew it by hand. Or, yeah, sewing it by hand is pretty good. Or you could do it like a duvet. You could sew it on 3 sides, turn it inside out, and then you could crawl into it with the batting and just lay it all in there, nice and fluffily. Interesting thoughts, eh? This has given me a great new goal, is to use 1 or more of those fleece. Some of them are they're all held together, but it's like it's very see-through. All this is pulled open so far, but you could use that like batting and just put it in a little more tightly. I don't really want to rip it all apart and use it to weave my rug. That's better suited for all the bits that come from the legs of the sheep that are, you know, kind of hanging off. Get rid of all those bits and then use the main thing. There was one that was really big. It was like 10 feet square. And it was see-through, so it must have pulled apart a bit, right? Or just become very thin, as you know. And I laid it over the railing, and I tried to keep it together so it wouldn't rip into bits, and it worked. It worked very well. It's really cool to get a new idea, don't you find? I find that that's the best thing for being happy, is to have an idea, some goal to pursue. You know, like I have my art journal here now, so now a goal is to draw the different ships. And also I have my journal, so it's another goal is to write down everything. You know, these... Good morning.
Goedemorgen, wilt u ook wat drinken?
I already ate over on the other side.
Oh, okay. You don't want anything?
No, I'm just sitting resting. Thank you. I suppose I should have a drink. I don't really want anything. You know what I had for breakfast? They have watermelon, and along with the granola and the yogurt and all that stuff, they have all these nuts and things. So I took some watermelon slices and I laid them on my plate, and then I sprinkled chia seeds on them, and then I sprinkled sliced almonds on them, and I put a few walnuts on and a couple of raisins. And so all over my plate, you know, there's just a handful of all these things. And then it made the most lovely little sandwiches, you know, just a piece of watermelon, which I ate flat like a sandwich, and with all these nuts and seeds on them. Not many, just a few, like 2 walnuts on each slice or something. It was a very good idea. I'd never thought of that before. I'm creating all these wonderful food combinations. I took a picture of it so I can remember it. Actually, I made a short of it, I guess. I like to learn new things. I was amazed at how young my mother-in-law looks. She's 96 and she doesn't look a day over 60. You know, she really looks young. And she's got some plumpness on her cheeks right now. She's not skin and bones. You know, and I think it makes you much more healthy, look much more healthy when your face has got a bit of fat under the skin, so it's not gaunt, you know? She looks really good. I hope I look good when I'm 96. I wonder if I'll live that long. I don't know if I want to be here that long. What will the world be like when I'm 96? I'm 66. It would be 30 more years. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the number of trials you have to have in 30 years? But I guess I'm having less trials because I figure out how to deal with them, and so they're not trials anymore. The tools that I get for my trials, I learn from the last time, you know. I went to Vancouver, I was all stressed out packing. Well, I went to the Takuta, Alaska, was so stressed out, and I couldn't imagine that the trip would be worth the stress that I had to get there. And the same thing happened in Vancouver, and I didn't want to go. It was just so stressful trying to prepare. It was for the shoulder seasons, right? When you don't know if it's going to be hot or cold or raining or sunny. And having all the right clothing. And yet here, same thing happened. So this is 3 trips that have caused me incredible anxiety. What are the tools I should have learned? You know, at one point I did think I should hold the Savior's hand and He'll get me through this, you know. Oh, look, here comes something very big. MISIDA. Shall we look at this? Turn you around. I'll just turn the whole camera around. It's kind of in the railing. You see how the front, you've got the curve is showing, so it's not in deeply, right? The ballast is the weight that's in the bottom of the ship to keep it from tipping over. I'm not sure how deep it is. So it's going upstream. So it's going up to Rotterdam and beyond to Germany, and to fill up with whatever it takes, whatever it carries. Oh, there's a box. There's a couple of containers on there. So it's going to go up the Rhine. The Rhine comes down through Germany and then it splits, and this becomes the new Maas. It splits a few times down here. It's quite a lot of waterways. I don't know if there's one that's actually called the Maas, or the Rhine down here. See, the back end of it has all that thing lays down and becomes a road or a ramp, right? So they can drive all well, they don't drive the containers in. The containers are loaded in by a crane. Gooby shipping too. I'll have to look at it with these. Godbees shipping.fi. www.godbysshipping.fi. 2Ps in shipping. Yes, FI, so it's a Finnish ship. And so that flag then, on the top, let's see the flag. I can look at it with my binoculars. It's got a blue cross, a horizontal blue cross on it. Is that the flag of Finland? It's very stimulating to try and learn new things, you know? At home, I haven't been learning new things. I walk around the deck and then I sit. I watch television, I play Minecraft with the grandchildren. Sometimes I pull fleece and weave, or clean and cook, but there's not a lot to learn then. And I haven't had the feeling of wanting to make baskets or something. But here, there's stuff on the ground. There's one empty lot that has these long lines of runaway wisteria vines on them. I've got my clippers. I'm going to go clip a few. But everything has to be small, so I'll make a basket and maybe I'll just take one vine, and with one vine I'll make the whole basket. I'll make a little ribbed basket with one that goes that way and one that goes this way, and then the ribs, and then I'll use all the smaller pieces for the weaving. So I'll start at the thick end for the rims. So Willem went back to the room. I wonder if he has a plan. My goodness, have you been frozen for a very, very long time? What does that say? Nobody's watching because it was frozen. Okay then, well, we'll see you later.